You are listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple: to eradicate burnout and to bring harmony, purpose, and balance to this world, starting with the family. My hope is that this show and the story shared will provide encouragement and ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive in to today's episode. Earlier this week, CBS News reported that a truck carrying 12 tons of KitKat bars from Italy to Poland vanished. Allegedly, the chocolate treats were stolen before it could cross the border to reach the various distribution centers across Europe. A KitKat spokesperson was quoted, "We've always encouraged people to have a break with KitKat, but it seems thieves have taken the message too literally and made a break with more than 12 tons of our chocolate." The story is quite strange because who would want to steal over 400,000 KitKats besides my own kids? Trying to resell without getting nabbed is virtually impossible because of the barcodes. But maybe there's more to this story. In falling down the rabbit hole, and it goes much deeper than what I could talk about in this podcast, I found that this isn't the first time KitKat has been the center of a sweet turned sour story. A few years back, over $250,000 worth of KitKats were hijacked to a California storage facility as a freight broker and a scamming trucking company battled for rightful ownership of the KitKats. Allegedly, the case was never resolved, and the KitKats are still on ice and being held captive in the storage facility. These two very odd stories lead me to one question. Is there a black market for KitKats? The answer is yes, there is a black market, but it's not about the KitKat. KitKat's marketing campaign, Give Me a Break, was created in 1957. And since it started, the brand has been symbolic of joy and relaxation, for clocking out, for taking breaks, for sweet and tasty relief in the midst of bitter environments. Give me a break, break me off a piece of that KitKat bar. The jingle has long delighted the ears of kids and adult kids. But what happens when the break doesn't happen? Tantrums for kids, burnout for adults. And if I were investigating the mysterious KitKat heist, this is where I would start and end my search. And as I close the case and identify the bandit or bandits, I would give a statement that goes something like this. Quote, "Clearly, whoever stole the KitKats is angry and burned out. This person has not caught a break their entire career. This person has been discontent for a long time and lost hope in work and perhaps even in life. This person has tried to climb the ladder with cheer, but at each step, nothing but disappointment has happened. This person may have been looking for a break in all the wrong places. But suddenly, the break was right in front of them on the proverbial highway to heaven. And it just so happened to be an unarmed truck carrying $1 million worth of KitKats right in front of them. Your bandit is none other than that burned out, overworked, underappreciated employee right over there." Unquote. Yes, I am facetiously profiling the alleged KitKat bandit. But I'm not exaggerating the nature of our stressed out and burned out world. We are all suspects to the KitKat heist. Stress, worry, anxiety, and anger plague our news, workplaces, and hustle culture. Even as we achieve more, we are smiling less. Discontent is at its highest, and the majority of the population is looking for a break, for hope, a break in the news, a break in opportunities, or just a break on the job. But getting that break is harder in real life. We are subject to the rat race programming. We want nothing more to steal our time back, and perhaps even our joy. The break we're searching desperately for is exactly where KitKat has advertised for the last 60 years. Relaxation, fulfillment, and joy. The world wants nothing more than a stressed-out population that's divided and afraid. Fear-mongering has been advertised for a long time, free of charge for anyone who will pay attention. And as I have stated numerous times for the last year, the shock factor of our news is at an all-time high. So much so, we're nearly immune to it. More bombings and threats in the USA, gas prices skyrocketing, meteors hitting various states, AI robots walking through the White House, flooding in Hawaii, airport and air traffic catastrophes, new currencies, and more DOJ files. These are just a few of this week's headlines. And I would love to say that maybe next week we will find a reprieve and catch a real break from the chaos, because we need a break. Thank you, KitKat bandits, and whoever decided to report on this story. We needed this very bizarre but somewhat comical story because it's a reminder that we are not only entitled to joy, but we can choose joy whenever we please, even if it's in the midst of darkness. Chronic stress creates anxiety and prevents flow, creativity, and joy. We all need a break from stress, and it's our responsibility to check ourselves when we are overrun with the burdens of adulthood. And no matter the age, there are mental, physical, and emotional benefits to finding that elusive, joyous relaxation in a break. In an interview this week on the 90-Minute School Day podcast, author and researcher Judy Arnell explained how stress prevents kids from learning. What she didn't know was that her statement in this podcast also applies to adults who need a break from stress. Here's the quote. Ongoing stress is not very good for the brain. It stimulates the HPA axis, which involves the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands working together to raise cortisol levels in the body. Ongoing stress that produces constant cortisol breaks down the connections between the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, which in turn shuts down learning. So when kids are under stress, they can't learn, unquote. Our brains work the same way as adults. When we are constantly under stress, we aren't able to perform at our highest level. We become foggy. We become frustrated. We become sick. We become stuck. We burn out, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So just as play is important for the child, so are real breaks important for adults. Breaks aren't just to rest. It's a form of self-care that brings the nervous system back online, allowing space to fully recharge and to heal. However, not all breaks are created equal. Some of us need 15 minutes. Some of us need a walk in nature. Some of us need hobbies. Some of us need a day without email, meetings, or social media. Some of us need to get back to 8 hours of sleep. Some of us need a 2-week vacation. Some of us need a sabbatical. Some of us need a break from the current career path. Some of us need to unplug from the distractions. Some of us just need a break from the mundane. Some of us need good news. Breaks are an invitation to reset, recharge, and rejuvenate, no matter how long it takes. So, whatever your break is, don't delay. Take it like the KitKat bandit. Stress less and smile more. Have a good week. Thank you for listening to the Work-Life Eubiosis podcast, part of the work-life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all. And your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and submit your story. While you're there, join the Work-Life Eubiosis newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.